It's Willow Talk time again. Hello and welcome, Adam Peacock with Brad Haddin. Hads, you're back. You survived it. Like earlier in the week, we couldn't find you because you were still at that under-13s recovery session in your pool with all the parents. So
Mad Monday.
Good sesh.
That good for under-13s. Man, I'm actually lucky I'm here today, actually.
Oh, it really is still going.
Yeah, the boys were good.
Yeah.
Parents were more fun. But I was set up.
Why?
I definitely was set up.
Oh, by Karina,
yeah.
your wife.
Yeah, Hills was right. I think she had a sneaky WhatsApp group aside, and I walked into the brunt of it. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, good. If you weren't across the story, basically Brad Haddin got a message while we were on air last week to say that, hey, by the way, we're having all the parents around because it's too hot for the kids to go to training. There's going to be maybe a storm as well. So we're going to have
the kids, though.
Pool session organised. It's about the, but the ulterior motive was very, very clear. Hills isn't with us. She's off being a cricketer, which is fair enough. She's in the Aussie camp up in Brisbane. So shout out to Hills.
Yeah, she's up there passing fit. So, mate, it's disappointing for us, but we need her back playing.
Yeah, well,
especially opening the bat in Test cricket.
It's probably more important for Australian cricket that she's actually being a cricketer rather than sitting in here talking about it.
Yeah, even though she's Australian captain. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, huge show. Obviously, we're going to preview the second test of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Adelaide. All the ins and outs, how the Aussie batter's going to go, how we're going to go without Hazlewood, how do India double down on their performance in Perth. And as part of it all, we're going to talk to Travis Head, courtesy of Instant Windscreens and Tinting. Shout out to them. Trav will be along shortly to give us a detailed analysis of what to expect at his home test. Always exciting when you play your home test, surely. And the tickets you have to look after.
It's always stressful.
Yeah.
It is your home test is obviously he knows the conditions, mate, and there'll be Travis Head masks and sunnies all over the hill. He'll get an unbelievable reception, but mate, you got to hand off tickets to your dad. Say, listen, my dad's got them. Leave me alone because it's a stressful test trying to get tickets.
Yeah, hopefully in Adelaide, I don't know if they're across this. Maybe it is a thing that it's very hard to get a pair of sunglasses in a 7-Eleven this week in the greater metropolitan area of Adelaide because they're all going to be worn in reference to their great man, Travis Head, at the ground across what could be a short test. Never know. Could go 5 days.
5 days.
We'll talk about that a bit later on. You're going to have your shocks and locks as well for the second test. Looking forward to that. There's plenty happening around not only domestic cricket. Wow, isn't it going well at New South Wales? We'll get to that. And also internationally, there's plenty to talk about. We've got our Sundries as well. But before we really get into it, a little update on our Apple and Spotify targets for the summer. On Spotify, we're cruising to our target of 708 ratings by the end of the Women's Ashes in early February. Currently on 664, so just 44 shy of Warney. But let's see if we can get there before Warney's test, the Boxing Day test at the MCG. On Apple, we're on 181 reviews, 19 short of our target of 200. Hopefully we don't get in the nervous 190s, if there is such a thing.
2 hits.
A couple of more reviews have come through. Cricket Tragic Noel says, really great show with great insights, brilliant banter. Would be made even greater when they get Kerry O'Keefe.
Oh, he would be number one.
Yeah.
Skull, come on.
That's a double episode, Skull.
Oh, well, we won't have to. We just wind him up. He's, mate, I've been lucky enough to commentate with Skull. One, you learn a lot about the craft, but the way he can take stories to a new level. I remember commentating with him once. Pakistan v Australia. Test match, I think it was in Lahore or wherever it was. It was somewhere in Pakistan. He compared the game to the Kardashian sisters. And Brendan Julian was looking at me for a comment. I could see I wasn't on screen. And I was given the don't come to me. Mate, I had no comment. I said to him after the break, he said, didn't you see it? I said, no. I'm not as quick-witted as you, but he explained it perfectly. He's a legend.
Brilliant. We'll try and get Skull on. If not during the summer, definitely after it as well. It feels like an off-season extended chat, Skull, because there's a bit to get in.
Mate, we'll go to him.
Yeah, we'll go to Skull if you're listening. Wherever you are, we'll get to you. Yep. We'll get the on the road equipment out. Mark, and I say that because he's put 3 or 4 A's in his name, but that's what I'm just saying. Best cricket podcast. As a proud Queenslander, I'm not too one-eyed to say that this is the best cricket podcast on iTunes, even with a heavy New South Wales bias. I try not to. I'll leave that to Hads. Keep up the good work, team. Thank you, Mark.
Well, Mark, I'm not too proud, and I don't know about where you get the one-eyed bias from New South Wales, but we should be the top of the shield by the end of this game. Anyway, I'm not too proud to say I think Brisbane should have the first test of summer.
Really?
Yep. I still think it's a great tradition.
Yeah.
I know we've got the second test, pink ball, next year, but it was always a great event, the first test. It was a cauldron for Australian teams to get travelling teams at the Gabba straight up. So, Mark, I'm not too one-eyed New South Welshman to say you should get the first test.
I think that's purely down to the Big Bash schedule, isn't it? Because they want content over once the Big Bash starts, all the Big Bash games, there's a run of them for about 30, 35 days in a row. They can't have a pink ball test or the Perth test while the Big Bash is on, because then you end up with empty days.
Well, there's a lot of conversations I'll be having to, but all I'm saying is, Mark, I'm with you. I'm proud enough, man, to stand up and say you should get the first test.
It's one for Greenberg, the new CEO.
Oh,
Todd Greenberg. We'll get on him about the schedule, Mark. Peter and Michelle say, I hate trucker hats. Sorry, love the podcast, love cricket, love merch, just hate trucker hats. Well, Peter and Michelle, hopefully one day soon you'll have options for the Willow Talk merch. Big on the bucket hats. I'm trying to get them through. So Peter and Michelle, hopefully you like bucket hats, and we'll get those. Just thought coming in, and we read the story about Don Bradman's Baggy Green being auctioned off for nearly 400 grand this week. I wonder if we can somehow, that first batch of 5 or 6 Willow Talk trucker hats, and we're getting more, don't worry, we'll have more available soon. Mm-hmm. If we can somehow put some stitching on them to say, this is edition 1, and you'd have 1, Heels would have 2, producers, I'm happy to have 4 or 5. Even Starkey, who nabbed 1, he can have 1 before my number. That's fine. But number them.
Might be too fancy for a trucker.
What, the number? Mm. Put it on the inside so you can't see it.
Oh, yeah. You're a thinking man.
Just thoughts. Last one. If you want to get in touch with the show, send us a DM on Instagram or TikTok. Just search Willow Talk Podcast and you'll be set. And Nick sent us a message this week. This is a beauty. And we will get to the second test in a second, but this is too good not to read out. Hey, guys, I'm an Aussie from Melbourne living in Dublin at the moment. Massive fan of the podcast. Wanted to give you all a shout out for the extra long pre-India series episode from 20th of November. I ran my first marathon in Florence on Sunday, and that hour 45-minute episode got me through the first half of the bastard and some. Dare say I'd still be running today without it. Keep up the great work. Love the show. Nick, this wasn't on the radar, getting people through marathons when we started this podcast, so happy to help.
Mate, Nick, I'm happy to help, but by the sounds of it, you do not need our help. If you got through the first half of the marathon at 1:45, mate, you're a serious athlete. You need to be drinking more Guinness.
Wow. Good work, Nick, and look forward to helping you out with your second marathon once upon a time. Right, let's get to it. Second test, Adelaide Oval, Friday, 2:30 local time. Tomorrow it starts. Hads, how do you see, firstly, and by the time you listen to this, it might be out, the lineup, they might have come up with it. So Josh Hazlewood out, Brendan Doggett and Sean Abbott in as cover, Bo Webster for a sore Mitch Marsh, even though Marsh says, I'm good to contribute. Maybe he's a specialist batter. How does our 11 look?
Oh, I think there'll only be one force change. I think Josh will be that change, and he's a huge out. What I'd like to see out of that, Boland obviously comes straight in, and he's never let Australia down every time he's got the opportunity, but might just sort of wake the captain up a bit, give him the new ball. I like it when Paddy gets the new ball in his hand. So, but Hazlewood, he's probably our best bowler.
Mitch was good over in
Mitch.
Perth.
Well, Mitch has been outstanding through.
But you're saying pink ball, Josh is.
Josh is. Well, last time he went through India, he got a wicket every other ball. So he'll be a big loss. I think there's been one test. India won it. They played well. There was times Australia on top. If they find some runs, I think you're going to see a pretty steely Australian team. I reckon it's going to be on this test match. I expect them to get it done. The batters to find form, but it's a good test. India in an interesting position. They're going to be the team with all the changes.
Yeah, off a winning team, but forced because of the big names coming back. Gill, Rohit come straight back in.
Well, they have to. They're world class, mate. Shuman Gill, like you talk about Jaswell, mate. Gill's just as good. So yeah, let's see that they'll definitely have changes. So ours is a force change, but
bit more detail about those in a moment. Just back to Hazlewood Boland, they look pretty similar. However, take us into great detail, Hads, if you can, about the subtle differences between the two.
Josh Hazlewood's world class. He has been for a long time. And when you go into a team and know Josh Hazlewood's there, it's a mental thing for the opposition, thinking, wow, we've only got to get through these two. Boland's a great bowler. He's done a good job. But it's not Josh Hazlewood. Mate,
what are the different? Like, is it?
It's height. Mate, Hazlewood's just he's relentless. He's good with the old ball. He's world class with the new ball. And the way his control from that height, it's McGrath-like. So he'll be sorely missed.
But Scotty Boland, every time we speak to a Victorian cricketer and we ask the inevitable, who's worst in the nets, his name always comes up because he gets it to jag around.
Yeah. Scotty Boland's a great replacement, mate. We've seen we've got 3 superstar quicks and Scotty Boland in reserve. And the lucky thing with us is he can come back in. He won't get overawed by the situation. He'll be good with this pink ball. He's not going to let anyone down. He's a world-class competitor. But Josh Hazlewood is a big loss. His height, the way that the 3 complement each other. But Boland do a good job, mate. He'll be hard work for the Indian batters.
If Marsh can't bowl, do you then go, righto, we can put up with just the 4 bowlers and don't need the all-rounder and keep him at 6?
Well, if you're having a look at the history of these pink ball test matches, it's not going to go 5 days. So is it one of the cases where you go, okay, we can use the 3 quicks to roll one in? Nathan Lyon's good with the pink ball too. When the pink ball test match first started, I mean, no one really thought about this till it happened. It's hard to pick the seam up of the spin. You talk about that dust period where the ball starts to swing around and there's interesting declarations to get your bowling plan just right with the ball in the condition at that time. But Nathan Lyon was hard to play as well because you can't see the revs on the seam. When you're watching the ball, you get a judge on, that one's going to turn. You can hear it, but you couldn't quite see the seam. I know it's got the balls are high quality now and they're different from when they started. But do they need a 4th bowler? Mate, I don't think so. I think you can go in with 3 quicks in this one because you don't want to. I think lessen your batting because you need runs. So I think you can get away with it. In a perfect world, you'd like to have that option. I think Mitch is going to bowl. He's had 11 days. He can play a role. Hopefully
he's right.
Yeah, he'll swing that ball if he gets a chance.
So you look at Bo Webster's the backup there. Brendan Doggett is brought in as cover just in case something happens, obviously, and great for him to get the recognition. I just get the feeling Sean Abbott, is that fielding as much as cover for everything? Because Australia in the deep, I noticed, and you were there, so you see more. They weren't great. They lost David Warner patrolling a boundary. Such a great athlete. He is a very, very good man to have in the deep.
Just having a look at that now, and I go back to the question you just said before. Like Sean Abbott can hold a bat. Like he could play a test match as a number 7.
And bump Carey up to 6.
And bump Carey up if you needed to, if you wanted the bowling option.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it. That he might be there. Like Doggett's an out-and-out quick bowler. He's there. Yeah. He's an athletic guy in the field. He doesn't bat that well, but Abbott could give you handy runs if needed. If the surfaces where they think they need the extra quick, maybe his name does come into consideration.
We'll ask Trav Head about the ins and outs, and want to ask him about Marnus as well, about how he's been looking this week, because he would have been front and centre at nets, and I dare say Marnus has spent more time in the nets than any other batter for
Maybe
Australia.
not. Like it's interesting you say that, because sometimes, okay, you've got to get in, hit more, but I don't think Marnus is about the volume of hitting. I think it's about his mindset and his intent when he is playing.
Well, shout out to whoever's below him in the hotel hearing that.
Well, that's what you want. You want him back to that, don't you? You want him back to getting that feel.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Do you hear that in a hotel at 3 in the morning?
I've heard some things at 3 o'clock in the morning in a hotel, but never a bat tapping above me. So anyway, got to get out more. India, Rohit Sharma. So where's he going to bat?
Oh, well, if you look at the captain comes back and goes to the top of the order, Rahul can go down. then you got Gill to come in, obvious one at 3.
So Patagal drops out.
Yeah, Gill
Jarrell.
comes in. Yeah, Jarrell drops out. Those 2 guys come in. But, mate, Cahill Rahul was the unsung hero last test.
Yeah.
I think the way he played and battled with Jaswell in the first and in the second inning, at times you could see Jas looking just to go a bit too hard, and he pulled him back, and he got his tempo right. But
Good foil.
yeah, he was. But you can use him in the middle order. And I tell you why that's not a bad idea in a pink test, is he could be coming in with a second new ball's on in that period where technically you need the open to get through. You've got Pan who's going to go one way. But the balance of that team with Cahill, whether he does go down to 6, actually sits pretty well in the makeup on where a pink ball test sort of pans out. So, yeah, I'd imagine that they'd go straight in, but don't be surprised if there's a little tweak.
We could talk about a lot of the greats of the Indian cricket team at the moment, but I just want one plan on one player, if you could. Shubman Gill. How do you plan to get that bloke out? Because once he gets going, we've seen it time and time again, you lose control. Like Virat in his great days, Virat in Perth, you lose control of the contest. So how do you set up this guy to make sure he doesn't dictate what is happening in the game?
Well, first and foremost, he's coming back off an injury, so there's a little bit of you want to feel bad on ball, and what they got to do to someone, and if you're just talking about Gill, as you said, you got to get him to do something that he doesn't want to do in his first 15 balls. That's where you're most vulnerable. So whether that's getting him to drive down the ground, if you want to get him caught behind the wicket, you've got to get him on the front foot. So to do that, do you play with your field? Do you set a bat pad or a square leg out to try to get him to just second guess his feet, get caught in the crease and bring slips into play? Do you leave cover open if you want to drive him?
It's a hard one because if you send it, like you put it on fifth stump and get him playing forward and you got cover open and he creams one that basically goes at warp speed to the boundary, you go, oh, he's in.
Yeah, but
so,
but we've only lost one test. We still bowled India out for 150 in the first. Take whatever happened after the game, and after the first day, we still got them there. So our bowlers created enough chances in that second innings as well. We put a few down, so I'm not too worried about what we're going to produce with the ball there. I think that their plans will be fine. It's just we've just got to get some runs.
Well, the numbers back that up from both bowling attacks. The strike weapons. Jasprit Bumrah. Ashwin, if he plays, missed out in the first test, obviously. Stark, Cummins, these guys are all averaging, the two Aussies averaging 18 with the pink ball. Bumrah and Ashwin averaging under 15 with the pink ball, taking wickets at pretty good strike rates as well. Mitch Stark, 12 matches with the pink ball at 66 wickets. That's a pretty handy return, I would have thought. So despite the fact there's no Hazlewood, just on the pitch, Adelaide Oval curator Damien Hoff said on Thursday, there's 6 mil of grass on the pitch, should be similar to previous years, said prep doesn't change much between red and pink, Shield and Test games. So bog standard Adelaide Oval track where there's a bit in it for everyone has just changed the nature of playing under the lights as opposed to...
Surface will be first class.
Yeah.
It'll offer something, bat, ball, field, spin. He does a great job down there. The big thing in Adelaide Test matches is getting your declarations right. You want to be using the new ball at exactly the right time because you can get that pink ball in the first session, mate. It can be good to play in the middle session if it's hot. There's not a lot to offer. Then all of a sudden it looks like the whole surface changes, the ball changes, and it starts to swing around corners. So the surface is always top shelf. They've got a great crew down there. It's just tactics come into play a lot more than you think in a pink ball test.
Sunil Gavaskar, he's earned the right, the great man, to do this, given what he's done for Indian cricket, to come out and say what he wants. And he said what he wanted earlier this week. All the boasts about how the Perth pitch is going to be pacey and bouncy and scare the living daylights out of the Indian batters were exactly that, the boasts of a bully. Mind you, it wasn't the Aussie players, but their support staff in the media, both electronic and print, who were trying to be scaremongers.
Love it.
Sunny.
I love it.
Sunny.
I love it. How good's this? This is what you want. You want the series getting a bit of spice in it. And we play our best when we're against the wall. All of a sudden, watch out. This team's responded every time they've been put to a test. Every time they've been put under pressure, it's been the bowlers a lot of the time stand up. So, Sonny, I love this. I love now that we can get a bit of spice into this.
Well, if Rana plays, if I was him, I would be going out and remembering what Mitchell Stark said to him in Perth, and maybe going out with that chest guard on, because the rib cage,
how good
could be a little
but
tight.
don't you like
that might be
this?
something in it.
Like I like this the spice starting off. Everyone's got it, but once that first ball's bowled, it's a game on. It'll be a bit in it.
You lot on Triple M, do me one favour when you're there and talk to the guys. When Marnus comes in, don't commentate. Just put the stump mics up. That's all I want to hear, because there will be a bit of chat.
Well, I hope we do that and we hear Marnus for 6.5 hours.
Just hear bat on ball.
Bang. Bang.
Pop, pop, pop. Like in the hotel room, the bat on the floor.
I don't know where you're going with that.
No. That's just what Barnes does in his spare time. World Test Championship table. To guarantee a place in the final without depending on other results, control the controllables. You're always taught as a kid. Australia need to win 4 and draw 1 of their final 6 matches. The 4 to come against India, the 2 to come away to Sri Lanka. 5 teams can make it. India, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand and Sri Lanka. Feels like it's a success if every test has something extra to it, doesn't it, with this World Test Champion? I like it, because you're thinking, okay, the here and now, but you're going, oh, what does it mean for something bigger? And hopefully it gains in 10, 15 years' time where it's got huge relevance.
Well, I think it has now. I think it's a really good concept, and it does make all tests relevant. Mate, South Africa are the ones. They've won in Bangladesh. They've won here in Sri Lanka. So, mate, I think they're the ones that are, mate, had 4 wins in a row.
Right, Travis Head around the corner, but before that,
Hads,
here we go, pressure time, locks and shocks. 2 locks and 2 shocks to predict for the second test in Adelaide.
Lock?
Yeah.
Camo opens the bowling.
You mentioned that before.
Yep, that's my lock.
So Scotty Boland not to open?
Nope. I think he'll go first change, do a great job. Hazlewood's out. Get the new ball in the captain's hand. We're 1 test down. Mate, he's outstanding with that new ball. The pink one will do a lot. Shocks. Don't be shocked if Ashwin plays.
For who?
What's Washington Sundar?
Yeah?
I think a spin is underrated in pink ball tests, and he's the best spinner in their squad, out and out spin. I know Washington Sundar did a good job. He bats a bit.
Yeah.
But we've seen how well Reddy played this test. He got a strong enough batting order. I think now we roll at Sharma and Gill coming in. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Ashwin's in.
So that's a lock. What about 2 shocks?
Shock. I wouldn't be shocked if the batting order is a bit different to what we expect from a normal Indian team.
Okay. What, Pant to open?
No, I think Pant's been coming in at 5.
Yeah.
Does he stay at 5? Does he go down to 6?
I think he stays. Going all right there.
Yeah, he is, but just watch that space.
I'd say a shock would be Jason Gillespie spotted without a beer in his hand in the final session.
Oh.
That's if he's not working in the media, he's just enjoying himself after we had the great man on, and have a listen to his take on life, and Glenn McGrath being a left-hander. A
You
natural
like that,
left-hander. Oh, it's a ripper. It was a beauty.
You didn't expect that answer though, did you?
No, I didn't realise that he was actually a left-hander. Last shock, real quick.
Last shock. I haven't got one.
Oh, okay. He's waiting for it all to play out. We're looking forward to the second test. Looking forward to chatting to this man right now. Travis Head is joining us ahead of his home test. Always a great occasion for the great man. It's all thanks to instant windscreens and tinting. Yeah, Trav, thanks for taking the time to have a chat. We're speaking to you on Wednesday afternoon, so not all the preparation is done for this second test. But how's the prep been so far in your hometown?
Yeah, 1 main session to get through tonight with all the boys, or under lights, so that would be nice. But yeah, it's been good. Boys have come in excited, and energy feels good. So so far so good.
Mate, Trevor, a home test is exciting. Oh, We lost him. Oh, he's back. Trav, as exciting as they are, mate, they can be a nightmare with tickets, friends. Mate, we know the whole hill's going to be in sunglasses supporting you with a can in their hand. But, mate, it can be a lot of pressure on ticket time come your home test match.
Yeah, we've got a good process. I've been fortunate enough to play a few at home now. So, yeah, Jess takes care of the family, and then Dad does the rest with the rest of the tickets. So, yeah, hopefully over the next couple of days I find out how many I'm able to get, and then I pass them on and let everyone go to work. So I'll worry about playing, and everyone will have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good week.
Trav, the one thing I get asked a lot about the modern day player is preparation, and you're one guy that doesn't need to hit a lot of balls. You're a rhythm player. Other guys need to hit more and more. When do you start to understand that? Is that a state cricket thing? It's always happened, or it comes off the back of the success you've had at Test level?
Yeah, I think everyone's got to go through moments. I've been through moments where I've hit millions of balls, and then been through moments where I haven't. So I think you find what you're most comfortable at. I think I range between both ends of it, and yeah, nets can be hard work, and nets can be challenging in terms of what you get, quality, and we're very fortunate that a few venues around the world are really good, and some aren't so good. So on days where it feels good, I'll bat longer, and when days aren't where I don't feel like I'm going to get much out of it, I don't. So yeah, I'm pretty relaxed about it all. I feel like I'm in a great space at the moment. I've trained a little bit over the last couple of days because Adelaide Oval nets are unbelievable. So I'll try to taper that off over the next couple of days and going fresh. But yeah, feeling ready to go again. And but yeah, everyone goes through moments of different stuff, and I've got mine at the moment, which is pretty relaxed and some really important things that I need to go through. But yeah, no, they have a lot from me.
We've heard about the volume of Smith and Labuschagne in particular in the nets and what they like to get out of those preparation moments. Have they worn their own footmarks into those Adelaide Oval nets this week, or have they gone the other way and maybe tried to freshen up after missing out over in Perth?
No, they're set well and truly into the nets, have been for the last few days. So that's their way of going about it, and that's totally fine. I think everyone gets that. Yeah, if one piece of advice, hopefully they go in a little bit fresh and do take some time, but we'll wait and see. That's always not as easy said than done with them too. But yeah, they'll work on their game, and each guy will go about it different ways. And yeah, we've got to make sure we bring it this week.
How has Marnus been? Because obviously there's a bit of chat around the place about where he's exactly at.
Yeah, it's in the sheds, he's same old Martin. So there is a fair bit of external stuff, and for us, it's being able to pick up that. We play so much with him and know him so well in the change room. So being able to pick up on that, play with guys that like to poke fun at it a little bit. I might be one of them, and just try and bring him back into our stuff and what we know he does best. And yeah, he's trained the same way. He's felt the same way in the sheds at the moment. And it's just what we can do as teammates is making sure that we can create the environment that makes it feel comfortable and normal and another week. So there's always going to be talk, positively or negatively in the media and about how certain guys are going and how you deal with that. But in the sheds, it's the same old prep and the same old week and making sure that we prepare well.
Trav, you're senior player now, and you face a lot of world-class bowlers all around the world. You look like you're in control in your innings when Boomer was on. What makes him so different to other bowlers? I hear a lot about his release point. Is he one guy you never feel in with, or you can get the better of him if you get him in his third and fourth spell?
I'm lucky that I've faced him a fair bit in the last sort of 12, 18 months. We've played a hell of a lot of cricket against each other in different formats of the game. Over time, I guess, yeah, you face him more and more. I feel like, yeah, this is going to be the biggest challenge for the whole group, even guys who have faced him a lot, to face him over 5 test series and the challenges of that and where he puts himself in sort of where he's looked at in terms of everyone in the world and in test cricket in general. So, yeah, he's challenging, but I feel like he's been a guy that he doesn't give you anything. He doesn't give you any bad balls. He doesn't give you any scoring opportunities. You sort of got to take on yourself and try to chance your arm at certain stages or be a little bit more aggressive against him in situations where you feel like you can present half a chance to score. And you need a little bit of luck on your side as well to make sure when that 50-50 chance comes that it comes on your side and you don't give him a chance, I guess. So very challenging. But yeah, I've been fortunate to face him for a little bit. I felt like I batted really well against him last week. I know he got me out in the second innings, but I felt like the way I moved in the first innings even, and the way I started against him, I guess walking out against a hat-trick ball and feeling like I'm moving really well. I think that's where that's where I'll take I guess my biggest motivation around my batting and how it's going, and the biggest reflection is that is, I guess, how I face their best bowler. So I guess it should get easier each other guy you face. They're all very high quality, but he's their very best. So if I'm moving well and playing well against him, I should be all right.
You've said before that you sometimes review some of your better knocks, maybe when you're scratching around for form or when you just want to do something to keep your head in the game. Have you talk to us about that, about how well you felt you've played in Perth? Do you just park that and go, yeah, I know I played well, don't need to look at that? Or you kind of, before the test, you'll have another little look as a refresher to go, okay, that's exactly what I was doing there?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not sure. See how, I guess that's our feel thing on how I feel, I guess, tomorrow night. When I put the head down or I've got a bit of spare time, which is limited at the moment at home.
Are you staying in the hotel, Trav, or at home?
I'm staying at home, at least the first few days, and see how we're tracking. But I like staying at home. It feels right. It feels good, and I'm not someone who worries too much about sleep or how I wake up in the morning, how I feel. I feel like I can perform in any situation. So not too bothered about preparation or that sort of stuff, but it just feels right getting up in the morning and seeing them and being around them. It's a good feel. It takes some mind off things as well anyway. But no, I felt like I played well in the last few days. I've moved well in the nets and had a really good net yesterday. So go against the bowlers tonight and see how I feel. But yeah, I feel like I'm in good touch. So, but that's never guaranteed on having another good week and make sure I do it all again and put myself in the best position.
Now, we earlier in the podcast, we were talking about the chats. Sunil Gavaskar's come out and said something. Hads got all excited, and that's just Hads, isn't it? Because let's face it, he didn't mind.
Aussie's going to give it to him.
A little bit of talk. I mean, we go back to great Adelaide Oval moments, Hads, and you congratulating Ben Stokes on his first ever Test wicket after you've been called out after getting out to him on a no ball. That's one moment where there was a little chat out in the middle. Trav, there was that. You couldn't help but notice there was a little bit out there. There's always going to be something out there when Rishabh Pant is hovering around the place. More than usual, more than expected. Where was it?
As is. Yeah, don't know. No, I don't think it was more than normal or any less than normal. I thought it was pretty stock standard. Surprised that Sonny's comments were pretty funny, but dropping off.
I loved him, Trav.
Dropping off and throwing a couple of daggers and shooting across the bow, but yeah. Who cares? Yeah, it is what it is. That's everyone's paid for an opinion. So that's his. He's in the entertainment business, as a few teams around the world would say, and he's on the commentary team. And if that makes it more fun for him, then go for it.
Mate, interesting though, Trav. You'll obviously have one force change, but you'd expect a few changes with injury returns from India. So that's always dangerous after you have a good win as well to change the balance of a winning team.
There he is. He's needling.
If there's one positive in a 300-run loss, is that they are going to have a few changes. So yeah, we won't be coming up against exactly the same team. Which you're adding Gill and Rohit, so two very very high quality players. But yeah, their first look at a series, wanting to be having impact, wanting to play well. I don't think they feel pressure. I think Rohit's so experienced and Gill is an absolute rock star. So I think they'll come in knowing that and very confident around their own skills and performances. I don't think they're too worried about how they go. But yeah, you're trying to enter into a series and you want to perform, you want to play well off the back of what they had a really really good week. So yeah, look, if that helps in some way, then that's great. And yeah, a few new plans for a few different blokes, but yeah, there'll be a few changes I think from them, and we've obviously got one force one at this stage. Yeah.
On that change, Scotty Boland, so likely replacement for Josh Hazlewood. Now, guests on the show, as mentioned before, saying that Scotty is a nightmare to face in the nets because he's always on a good length and he's challenging you with a bit of subtle movement as well. Have you copped the near Kookaburra vasectomy this week, perhaps, off Scotty in the nets? Has he had you dancing around a little bit? How's it been?
No, I got him in Perth last week, and then I haven't
You got
seen.
him?
I actually, well, yeah, I had to face him in the nets last
Faced him.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't say who won that battle. I think it was pretty even, actually. I think we're pretty good. He looks after me, so that's good. But Yeah, I haven't looked at the schedule. I don't know. I only look where Starkey's bowling in our session, so I don't know
100%.
who I'm facing. So I just line up where Starkey is, and normally it's right where my name is. So I did look last night quickly, and he's not in my net, which is fantastic. But now the big boys are going tonight, so we haven't faced him just
Oh,
as
yeah.
yet. So I think we've got pink ball tonight under lights, so he'll be hard work.
Happy memories there, Hads, by the sounds of it.
No,
Both
I
when you
know.
get the wrong bowler in the wrong net.
No, I know exactly what Trav is saying. And Trav's been one of the form batters in the world, in all forms of the game. And we're all the same. Where's Jono? Where's Starkey? It's not an enjoyable afternoon. Is it, Trav? It's not
No,
fun.
I'm happy to go on the end net, face the net bowlers, get what I need, go pick my feet up, and get ready for. I've got to face all the hard bowlers during the game. Why would I do it 2 days out?
It's a good point.
Trav, just a quick one. You've got a few new faces, never been around the Test squad for some time. Well, Doggett was years ago in the UAE, but Bo Webster, mate, is in. You know much about him? You've seen him much in state cricket. He must be enjoying his time with the big boys.
Yeah, I played a lot against him in Shield cricket. Yeah, he's enjoying his time. He's a ripper fella, and I feel like the people around Tassie and his time at the Stars, and they've got a lot of time for him. I think he's a great team man, and the boys have a lot of fun with him. So yeah, he's been a welcomed addition. I feel like a couple of new faces as well always helps around to get a bit of motivation and a bit of energy around the group. And yeah, it's been a really good couple of days. So hopefully that translation goes into the game. But yeah, it's nice to have him around. I think it's been well deserved. He's had a cracking couple of years. So yeah, it's been nice to have him around.
Well, what do you say to someone like Bo? You've been around a while now. You've been in and out of squads when you started your career. What do you say to him about the week?
Similar to what I said to Buddha last week, just enjoy it and just take it for what it is. And it doesn't come around very often. And yeah, we're in a very fortunate position. I think when you're around it for a long time, you sometimes forget. So it's always good to see fresh faces. And yeah, I guess when I see Nathan last week, you remind yourself of I guess how lucky I was also to be in Dubai with about 4 people at the ground and not in a test match in Perth with every eye on everything we did and Nathan going through that week. So yeah, it brings back good memories and it probably motivates you a little bit more and makes you remind you why you're there and how lucky we are. And it's always nice having fresh, energized faces around and guys that want it and have deserved it. So, but yeah, enjoy the week, enjoy Adelaide. Yeah, play around a golf, have a beer, do whatever you really need to do and do what you do for Tassie. So that's my only messaging for any guy that would come in is to be you and embrace who you are and what's got you here, and but also enjoy it and learn at the same time. And it's a bloody fun week.
How's Josh Hazlewood fitting in as the non-playing squad member, rehabbing, obviously trying to get back for the third test? Is he verging on pest-like levels, or is he just in the corner of the room being his own man?
Amazing that bloke's rocked up with an injury. Nah, I'm joking. I'm very close with Josh, so it's nice to have him around. But I did say to him yesterday he's going to be an absolute pest, but he'll be all right. He'll be good. It's good to have him around. I think it's important in a long series, and from what I don't know a hell of a lot of what's going on with him. Is it's going to be a short turnaround, so better that he be around us and working through that, and at the same time, and yeah, giving a bit of info to the guys on what he sees. He's an experienced guy now, and it's a long series, so keeping that group together and not feeling like anyone's going in and out is a nice thing to have.
Well, Trav, going into this test match, you think you're the most important player here. Alex Carey being from South Australia, McSweeney, but we all know it's all about Nugget this week. How's he been?
Yeah, he's going good. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I haven't seen him this week yet. He's obviously, he's getting a bit slower over time, the old boy. So, but I think they got a luncheon for him tomorrow. Yeah, in Adelaide, which I'm not sure if I'll get to just yet. We've got to work out what's going on. But yeah, he'll be there day one, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. I seen him at the showdown a couple of months ago, and he seems to be going really, really well. So, yeah, it's always a nice week for him. He bloody loves it. Everyone loves him, and it's good to have him around. And as you know, had sometimes that's just a little bit of energy you need, or a little bloke that you need in the corner. Spraying the opposition, spraying the umpires, blowing up everything that's going on, making excuses for everyone. It makes you feel a lot better about your own game. So I'm sure he's going to be same old Nug and same old week for him.
Mate, Nugget's a legend of South Australian cricket. The change rooms are named after him. If Trav got bowled, it was not his fault.
No
Isn't that true?
ball.
He'd say,
Normally
"Nah,
it's a no ball.
no ball,
No ball.
no ball, no ball." I don't
Yeah.
mean the umpire missed it. He's so and he's filthy. He's filthy for the rest of the day.
So he's like you with New South Wales cricket.
Mate, we're talking to Travis.
Sorry. Last one, Trav, before we let you go. So how much do you take out of the review of the first test, moving into the second test, and trying to work out what is the primal thing to get right in this test in Adelaide to square the series?
I think everyone, the way you reflect it, everyone's different. At 550 behind, I pretty much had started reflecting it and started realising where we were going. It's pretty obvious to see where that game is tracking. So easier to reflect and to know where you're at. Then, like obviously a close loss that might hurt for a few or four more days leading into here, but you brush yourself off pretty quickly on a loss like that, and you crack on. We had a really bad week, but yeah, you take what you need. I guess for me personally, I know I'm moving well. I'd like to do it in the first innings, and hopefully I can have an impact in the first innings, and that's a personal thing. Other guys will have what they need to do, and we spoke about yesterday about we've been a really good team, and guys have stood up over a long period of time now, and remembering that and trying to have a really good week and bringing the attitude and the energy that we need. So let's hope that we see that.
Well, from us, Trav, and there's one thing from the Triple M commentary box. A lot of our guys are sitting out the back and watch on the TV, but when Travis walks out to bat, you cannot move in our box.
Yes.
We can't wait, Trav. Put on a show.
Good luck,
Thank
mate.
you.
Thanks for
I
your
look
time.
forward to it. Cheers. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
And that was Travis. Thanks to Instant Windscreen and Tinting. Instant Tinting, your trusted tinting experts. Call 132 444 or visit instanttinting.com.au. And just before we go to the break, just more on Nugget, who is Barry Rees, who's a legend of South Australian cricket. He's a fixture at the Adelaide Oval Test dressing room. Got a baggy green, didn't he?
Yep, he's got a baggy green, and he owns that dressing room. Mate, he's when you walk into the room, you're just looking for the smile on his face. He won't have anything about India winning last test. It will be someone else's fault. He'll be that one-eyed. He'll say, "Nah, they bowled no balls. All our wickets weren't out." And the last thing he'll say to the boys, catches win matches.
Brilliant. We'll see Nugget on the screens if you're watching, and no doubt he'll be referenced on the Triple M call. Off to a quick break, drinks break on Willow Talk. Back in a sec. We've got a stack of around the grounds news to get to, both domestically and internationally, and Sundries. Back with Willow Talk, and the women's team have assembled in Brisbane. They play their first of their three-match one-day series against India today. Speaking of the Australian men, sometimes a little interesting, but the chat out there may be the same in this one. First match today, then Sunday again, Brisbane, then WACA. The WACA next Wednesday, December 11. No heels. She's out with that knee injury, rehabbing though with the squad. Hopefully
That'll break her. Because she has some great battles with a couple of the Indian players. And I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see whether the Aussie skipper can sit there quietly and watch the game.
She won't be quiet. She'll be needling and sending out some
she
messages.
needs to sit away. She needs to sit away. She'll be trying her best to get out there, but good series.
Yeah, and 21-year-old Georgia Vol, who lit it up sometimes with the bat in the WBBL this season just gone, she's set to make her debut. So looking forward to seeing that three-game series, and then they play New Zealand just after that as well. And then around the corner, not too far away, is the Ashes. Now, back to men's cricket. England, New Zealand. England hold a 1-0 series lead heading into the second test in Wellington starting tomorrow as well. Harry Brook, 171 in the first test. We had Matthew Mott on earlier this week, Hads, while you were still cleaning up the pool party. Motty rated...
Getting home.
You were home.
Oh, mate, those things, you know, when you start home, it's a good idea. You know what? That's a different time.
Motty rated Harry a generational talent, a player that can just take the opposition out of the game in an instant.
Well, we've seen that in his short career. What I got out of that game, England played well. It was un-New Zealand-like off the back of an enormous win in India, is their catching. And that's an attitude thing.
Dropped 8 catches.
Yep. But the one thing about New Zealand when you're playing, they don't go away. They take every half chance. They put you under pressure in the field. And that was really un-New Zealand-like. So off the back of their success, I was a bit shocked. England were good. Brooke was outstanding. Ollie Pope played a different role, actually. They moved him from 3. He kept wickets and he played well down at in the middle order. But, fascinating second test match. But England played well.
Very well, very well. It was weird, those catches, because then I think it was Glenn Phillips came up with the catch of the century.
Yeah.
So you drop some dollies and then you take that one. Doesn't make sense, cricket, sometimes, does it?
Ever.
Didn't make sense to Ben Stokes after the game because each team got fined 15% of their match fees and penalised 3 World Test Championship points for a slow over rate. In that test, Ben Stokes said on Instagram, "Good on you, ICC. Finished the game with 10 hours of play still left." Point he makes. Maybe fine him if, you're slow at the end of the game, if you've gone those 5 days and you haven't been able to get the allotment in over the 5 days.
We're going to break new ground here.
You're going to agree with him?
I agree 100% with Ben Stokes.
Say it again.
I agree 95%, 100% with Ben Stokes. Mate, it was the way England played. They're driving a contest. Mate, the end of the day, you want to get a result. I know slow over rates are frustrating for the fans, but mate, there's 10 hours to go. Like, common sense. It's not that common.
Fair enough. South Africa, Sri Lanka, second test starts tonight in the city formerly known as Port Elizabeth. I won't even begin to try and say how it is because I don't want to upset anyone, but I will say it's spelt Gqeberha. I've never seen, and it's obviously a language which is native to those parts that it is in reference to. I've never seen in a word G and Q apart from the front of a magazine next to each other. So I'll learn to say it before we know the result of this second test. But the point is South Africa won the first test by 233 runs after Sri Lanka was bowled out for 42.
It's a bad feeling. I know what that feels like over there.
At least you got 5 more that time. Lowest ever test score for Sri Lanka. Yeah, that's 5 less, obviously, than 47. West Indies, Bangladesh. Bangladesh won the second test at Kingston by 101 runs. Congratulations to Bangladesh. First win in the West Indies since 2009. As always the case, though, when the West Indies come up with a performance and a result like this, it's all on where the hell is West Indies cricket, not what the opposition has done, unfortunately.
Well, West Indies cricket, it's the same way it's been 20 years. They're playing 2020. Get your head around it. They don't care too much about Test cricket. We know it. So, mate, Bangladesh play those conditions well. They're similar to their home. The wickets are low and slow, but West Indies we've seen they've got some decent cricketers in there, but Bangladesh deserved that. Mate, the South Africa are the one on a bit of rebuild. Actually, they're playing some quite brave Test cricket. They've put Stubbs and guys like that who we've seen in 2020 up to number 3. You got Markram up the top there as well. We know the class he can play with, but yeah, they're my smoky for the World Test Championship. I think they're going to make it.
As long as they don't, for a series coming up, I haven't looked at the schedule, they don't send their C team like they did to New Zealand, they should be okay for that because they've got a couple of tests to come on home soil.
And not to think about it World Test Championship. If they start thinking about it, we know what'll happen.
You harsh human being. A bit of Shield froth now. Shield cricket all start on Friday. These games are Victoria, Queensland at the MCG, Tasmania, South Australia at Bellerive, and New South Wales, Western Australia at the SCG. Adam Zampa is apparently not playing this one.
We don't know that.
Yes, we do. He was only going to play one. What is going on with this situation? There's been a lot written in the past week about this. Stuart Clark says CA forced Cricket New South Wales to pick Zampa in the previous Shield round. CA says that wasn't the case. Cricket New South Wales has since apologised to Zampa. Zampa will not play in this match. Tanveer Sangha, I think he took a 5 for in grade cricket or Premier Cricket over the weekend. He's back in. Adam Zampa's been fiddling with his profile on his Instagram, saying he's a Sheffield Shield player and then changing it to with reference to his Bangalow cricket or Bangalow residence, saying Bangalow Cricket and Paddle Club. Where do you want to start with this one, Hats?
You know what? Where I'm going to start, and I've had my say on it, is I'm not worried about the Sri Lankan tour. I'm not worried about what Stuart said, the selectors. I think all anyone wants to hear out of this, and what I would like to hear, is someone at the standing of Adam Zampa. He's a quality white ball player. His record speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. What I would have liked to hear is, mate, we've got 2 games before the Big Bash. We're at the bottom of the table. boys, I'm coming back for 2 games. Let's get those wins and let's lead into the second half of the season on top of the Shield. And I think what anyone wants to hear is that he cares. That's all. Yes, I know he's got a living. He lives away. He doesn't go to training. We've heard him make comments about young Sam. Goes, mate, I haven't seen him. I haven't been to training. That doesn't help the situation when you're looking from the outside that he actually cares about the cap. I think all we want to see is that he cares.
This is going to happen more,
What do you mean?
Well, okay, Shield players, state cricketers go back to, or all cricketers should go back to pre-season training in, I think it's late June, is it, that they go back and they build up and they do their fitness program. But now you have a look at the calendar and there is franchise cricket opportunities littered everywhere. And this is not Adam Zampa.
No, players should take them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the priority is never going to be sitting in Sydney in a cold winter trying to prep for a season thing. The priority is, can I get a franchise?
No.
This is the players coming through I'm talking about. So what I'm saying is the administrators, the board at board level, at high performance level, they need to work out a formula, and it feels like they're trying to learn on the run at the moment about how to handle situations like this where people are picking and choosing how they best prepare for what they want out of cricket.
Well, it's not a new situation. Franchise cricket's been around for a long time.
But it's escalated heavily in the last 5 years. Major League Cricket coming in at that time of year when traditionally pre-season.
What my point about all this, as I said, I'm not worried about franchise cricket. I encourage the players to go play franchise cricket, learn about the game, get encouraged by different coaches, different coaching styles. That's high performance as well, learning from different people. I think that the bottom line with all and whatever's going on with that, I'm over talking about it. Like over worrying about, did the selector say this? Did the New South Wales? What I think, as I said, we want to hear is, mate, if you're in the country and you want to play, like, show that you care. Not, oh, hang on a minute, I want to go to Sri Lanka, I might just play a game for you. No, there's 2 games before Christmas. Play them, get the state off the top. That there makes it look, to me, like you're just thinking about yourself. Not like there's a lot of tradition gone into wearing that cap. It's you ask grade cricketers, do they want the opportunity to have one game for New South Wales? So to me, that's what it looks like. If you'd have come out and said, mate, Sri Lankan stuff will take care of itself. That's easy. Mate, I just got to bowl well. I perform well in the white ball. There's my stats there. Mate, we've got 2 games before. Mate, let's go and win those 2 and get in the top of the Shield. And then everyone goes, yeah, game on. Let's get behind one of the world's best. We didn't hear that.
Yeah. It feels like for you, being a New South Wales legend and you're in the Hall of Fame, that it's a devaluation of that cap that you work so hard to get.
Well, there's been smart-ass comments, am I sure? No. It's hard work to get there. It means a lot to get that cap. Mate, you've heard guys talk about it. So I think that's what's been missed a bit with all this. Like, oh, is he going to play this test? No. Just play those 2 games. Enjoy those 2 games. Bring Tanveer with you. Bring Green with you and say, hey, this is what it means. Not, oh, yeah, play that. Okay. I'm not going to play the next one. That leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
I'll come at quickly before we move on to the next thing from a different angle. And people might say, oh, well, you're just getting these stats from Hads or whatever like this. I'll do my own research. Thank you very much.
You don't listen to me.
No, I don't. I'll just
Mate, you asked for a coffee order, you get me the opposite anyway. I want a bacon egg roll, you got me a hamburger.
There's your mocker, dickhead. With New South Wales cricket, I look at it and, I wind it up and say, oh, how good's WA going producing all these players? The last 8 years, since 2016, Australia has debuted 23 male Test cricket players. 2 of them have come from New South Wales. If I'm looking at that as traditionally we have known New South Wales cricket, and people might say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. You've got Pat Cummins, you've got Josh Hazlewood, you've got Nathan Lyon, you've got Steve
10
Smith.
Years ago.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the guys that are there. I'm talking about who you have provided when they are needing a player in the last 8 years of Australian cricket. 2 out of 23 have come from New South Wales. South Australia are playing them off a break. And congratulations to South Australia. You look at Nathan McSweeney, who had to leave Queensland, and he's been developed. He's hardened himself as a cricketer in South Australia. What on earth is going on in New South Wales cricket to come up? And I can't help but think somehow these 2 are linked about the environment that is happening there. I don't know the people who are in charge of the board, the high performance. I don't know them personally. I don't know. But I just look at a stat like that and I go, how can that happen? How can that possibly happen? And there's going to be a reckoning because if your most populous state, who have the most cricketers, aren't producing players, it's putting strain on the rest of the country. What on earth is the Australian cricket team going to look like in 8 years if you don't have that development system providing some kind of depth for Australian cricket? Because at the moment, purely on facts and figures, it ain't happening.
Well, what you're saying there is we need to look at not only the way we're playing, our style of play. Why aren't we producing the players that we have in the past? Is it just a generational thing? But this week sort of leaves a bit of as an ex-player, a little bit of a foul taste in your man. As I said, I'm not worried about the other side. Are we letting our standards drop? Have we got to the stage that things have become comfortable and we're not producing the players that we should? And only everyone in that inner sanctum will know.
Righto, got a bit off our chest there, didn't we?
I knew, and you've been waiting for this. I knew you skipped in today for a reason.
It was a little rantish, wasn't it? I couldn't help it.
Man, I got it.
It's going to cost you. I've seen it happen with national teams across
and
everywhere.
if you're one-eyed when I come in, I've got to expect that. But you're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. We're not producing what we need to.
Same thing's happening in football. I can get like Matildas and Socceroos. I don't want to think about what it's going to look like in 10 years, how Australian football, soccer, treats itself internally. It's not like you've got so much talent at your disposal here in Australia with cricket. Cultivate it.
Why aren't we developing them?
India are doing well. Okay, they've got 1 billion people to choose from, but you don't have to be the biggest to be the best. Sundries. Cricket New South Wales. Jeez, it's not on the mind much.
Ex-New South Wales.
Cricket Australia CEO. There's a new one. Todd Greenberg has been named as Nick Hockley's successor. Greenberg is a former first grader at Randwick and Sydney Grade Cricket, former NRL CEO, and leaves his post as Australian Cricketers Association CEO when he takes over in March. You ever play against him?
I don't think so.
Randwick didn't cross over?
No, I don't think. I'll tell you where Todd, I think, started in Cricket New South Wales. I think he was like a game development officer. But I think this is a wonderful appointment. I don't know if you remember a few years back where the Players Association and Cricket Australia were at loggerheads for some time over the MOU. And mate, Todd's been there now. He's going over to the CEO of Cricket Australia. He's got the run-ins of the whole game. So I think it's a really good appointment.
The Bradman cap, 1947-48 Baggy Green, mentioned at the top. Hopefully one day we might have a valuation on these original Willow Talk trucker hats.
Mate, I'll take $400K now.
$390K. And another
wage.
$110K on top of that for the buyer's premium as well. It was his last Australian summer v India, sold at auction. I was reading some interesting things about the Baggy Green, that it didn't quite have the mystique and the kind of what it meant to Australian cricket back in those days. It's only in the last 20, 30, maybe 40 years that it's really gone up in terms of what it means to Australian cricket. Siddle to Stars. Peter Siddle, the ageless, lion-hearted Peter Siddle, returning to where it all began. 1-year deal for the Melbourne Stars. He signed on with the Stars in the inaugural 2011-12 season. Never played due to international commitments. He's been around. He's collecting some tracksuits. Renegade Strikers, Renegades, now Stars again.
You know what I like about this? One, he's a good bloke, Peter Siddle, and he's a winner. He'll bring a wealth of experience into that squad, whether he plays all the games, his knowledge on the craft of 2020 bowling is as good as anyone. So I like, he's gone to Tassie. He's played a bit at the Strikers. I love that he's come home. If it looks like being his last year, he deserves the big send-off at the MCG. He's been a great servant for Victoria.
Who says it's going to be a send-off? He'll play till he's 50. Mate.
He deserves it. Sids deserves everything he gets. He's a true competitor of the game.
Thumbs up, thumbs down from producer Sam on the other side of the window. Is he still on the banana diet? He's eating like 21 bananas a day? Yeah, fair enough. My daughter came up with a fun fact the other day. Not such a fun fact, but eating too many bananas can give you radiation poisoning.
Okay.
But you have to eat 350 bananas a day.
No, he's not
over the course of a lifetime. So 1 million bananas.
Yeah,
apparently that's not happening. Sids is going to go as close as any though. by the sounds of it.
No, he doesn't. That was all myth.
The Boy from Maxwell. So we're looking forward to sitting down to watch this one. The Philip Hughes doco titled The Boy from Maxwell will air on Foxtel, KO, and also Channel 7 after day one of the second test, or night one of the second test in Adelaide. Now, producer Sam played a role in the production, so congratulations, Sam. Really looking forward to this. Sam's seen it. He says it's a brilliant tribute to Hughesy, so I'll take his word for it. And it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be hard to watch it in stages, no doubt, but it's going to be...
it'll be hard to watch, but if it's a celebration of a good young man, the Boy from Maxwell, where it all started, it'll be a good watch.
Yeah, so that's on after night one of the second test in Adelaide. And last but not least, had your trucker hat today is the Beltrees Cricket Club, which is in the Hunter Valley, 150-year-old cricket club. And not that long ago, they recreated what is thought to be the scene of the first ever cricket game played in Australia. So Beltree's a rich history. And you got this one sent direct.
Got it sent direct. I think they're bypassing Sam. I reckon he's knocking a few of them off because the amount I've had delivered, so this one's not a bad one.
Yeah, it is. Fits well.
Fits good.
Fits good. And don't forget, we're going to get those Willow Talk merch options available as quickly as possible over the summer. But thanks to Beltrees Cricket Club for sending that one in. Don't forget to go into the episode notes and send to work out how you send in your cricket club cap, and Hads or myself, if it fits, we'll wear it. So, on the show. Hads, enjoy the second test in Adelaide. Look forward to seeing what transpires. Wait. Yeah, white knuckle stuff if, the whole
win.
test.
Australia win, skip him out of the match.
Okay. Thank you, Hads.
Thank you.
Have a good experience down there in Adelaide. Thanks for listening to Willow Talk. We'll catch you soon. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.